Hey guys, it's me, Onion Creature, and the reason I'm with you today is that there's a new Kirby game that was released. Look, it's my screensaver, it's my desktop background. It's Kirby Battle Royale. So this game came out on the 19th of January. Probably the last Kirby game we'll get for the 3DS, and yeah, just gonna start talk about it. So we first learned about this game last year in a Nintendo Direct. We knew it was a multiplayer 3D action game. And then we didn't hear, it was radio silence until the September Nintendo Direct, where we found out, we saw some footage of it. Like, okay, it's a sort of a 3D action game. It was indeed a 3D multiplayer action game. Plays the different Kirby abilities, and you fight in these different battle modes, these game modes. And so then it was released in Europe, and then shortly after Japan, and then much later in January in the United States for some reason. I'm kind of annoyed about that. Usually North America gets it before Europe, so not really all that happy about Europe getting it first. Europe almost never gets like Kirby games first. Like, I don't even know if that's ever happened before, so I guess good for them, but also for me that's kind of annoying because I kind of wanted to play this in November, but I had to wait 2 months. Fortunately, what that does mean is that us in North America, we get the mirror ability at launch. It came out at launch, and so we have that because that was the bonus ability that was voted on and they added to the game, which is pretty cool. I think that's a good idea. Anyway, so the game itself, that was just some background info, is actually like far better than I might have expected. Which is to say that going into the game, I didn't have very high expectations. I was just like, okay, this is a Kirby game. I'm gonna play it, keeping an open mind. I was just, yeah, didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know what level it would be at. And I'm happy to say it's really great overall. First of all, I guess we'll talk about the story mode. I love the story mode. It features some really wonderful dialogue, especially you can talk to the Waddle Dees between matches, and they have some really great dialogue. There's like sort of a camera crew, news crew that shows up every once in a while, and they interview you and stuff. They got like a Waddle Dee with a bow tie and a Waddle Dee with a boom mic and a camera. It's pretty great. And then yeah, so basically the story mode serves as a sort of tutorial for the game. It just introduces you to the modes, and you have to complete various challenges within the modes. Really charming dialogue, wonderful music. The final boss is excellent, and I'll leave it at that for you to discover for yourself. So the story mode overall is really solid, really great introduction for the game. Great stuff, pretty short, but that's sort of par for the course with Kirby games. That leaves us to the main modes, which are the battle mode and the online mode. So basically, the battle mode, you can play multiplayer or single player, and you basically, you choose your own rules and, play the different modes. And I feel that as though there's a really great amount of variety in terms of their different abilities. There's a bit over 15 as far as I'm aware, and there are also some characters who aren't Kirby in the game and aren't just different ability variations, so that's pretty cool. We got Waddle Dee, King Dedede, and Meta Knight, of course. So that was a really nice surprise for me. And then each different ability, I feel as though they've really landed on a solid system for making the abilities work in a 3D space. Because this is really the first time we've had abilities work within a 3D space. Sort of with more conventional 3D, with more conventional gameplay. This is, of course, not including Kirby Air Ride, which did have abilities, but that was a racing game, so a little different, bit of a different beast. So basically, for each different ability, there's the B attack, which is your standard attack. There's a charge attack, which is used by holding B, and then there's the Y attack, which is sort of a special attack. A lot of them, it's a sort of a dash move. And then usually there's some sort of aerial attack for the different abilities. So yeah, a good amount of variety. Obviously you can't get quite as many like button combinations and inputs as you could in a 2D space, but I think they definitely did a great job of translating the feel of the abilities into 3D. It makes all the game modes a lot more fun because each different ability is so distinctive that it makes each match feel completely different if you're playing with a different ability. And then the game modes themselves are quite diverse. Each of them, most of them have some sort of variation in terms of the locations, and some versions are harder than others. For example, on the attack riders, sometimes you're riding wheelies, sometimes you're riding little heavy lobsters, which are pretty great. So it's just stuff like that. It gives you quite a bit of variation in the games. So I won't go through every single battle mode, but yeah, there definitely does a good job, and there's a lot of replay value just in the single player itself, not even including multiplayer. And then by completing the different various missions, playing online or doing story mode, you unlock the currency. And the currency can be used to buy various things, such as hats. Each different ability has different hats that you can buy, different outfits, some of which are really cool. And they're actually quite expensive, so you'll actually have to play a bit of the game to unlock all of them. And then you can buy music and the different game modes, which initially you have to buy to unlock. So then moving on, I guess next thing I'll touch on is the online mode. So I played quite a bit of the online mode, and I have had a fairly mixed experience. So sometimes it works impeccably, and you can't really even tell you're online. Like, it just works totally flawlessly. Like, there's no lag. But then a lot of the time there is some amount of lag, and the games are definitely compromised, but still playable. But then there are other times where the game slows to a crawl. Often this is times when you get disconnects, which actually do unfortunately happen quite often. I've been playing on a fairly strong internet connection, and even then still get a lot of disconnects and lag. So very inconsistent internet experience, but when it does work, it is really great. It's just really fun to test your skills against other players online. It has a ranking system, and you can obviously earn currency by playing the online mode. One other aspect of the game I have to touch on, of course, is the visuals. The game has a really strong visual style, sort of a comic book type thing, which I really like. Looks really cool, and the music is impeccable. It's done by a different set of composers, the ones behind Kirby's and the Rainbow Curse. A lot of the songs are remixes of the main theme, but they work in remixes from older titles as well, and overall, just a fantastic soundtrack. The more I listen to it, the more I'm like, yeah, this is really great. One minor detractor is I wish the game was in 3D. It is kind of odd going from the other Kirby games, which are fully 3D, and this one, which is odd because this game would look totally great with 3D style, with the 3D effect, because of the top-down view. They could have the Kirby stick out. It's a bit of a shame it's not there, but the game still does look quite great. Overall, I would say the game has a fair amount of replay value. I haven't tired of it quite yet. Still having quite a bit of fun, even after I think I've done 15 hours at this point. It's definitely not as strong as the main series entries on the 3DS, but it is still a lot of fun and something that's quite different. There's even more content being added. I looked online, apparently they're adding another voter selected ability in February, so that's pretty cool. We don't even know what that is yet, so that's very exciting, and looking forward to that. Overall, this is just a really great game, and totally recommend it. Kirby is, if anything else, is incredibly consistent. The games are always good. This one is no exception. I do feel as though this game was somewhat poorly timed in terms of release. I think releasing it so close to Star Allies sort of diffused some of the hype for it. I haven't seen much buzz about this game online, unfortunately, but and definitely the reviews have not been very strong, which is unfortunate because I think the game is better than I think some outlets are giving it credit for, just based on what I've looked at on Metacritic and other sources. I think that's just about all I have to say about Kirby Battle Royale. I had a wonderful time with it. Total recommendation for me. It's a lot of fun and a good way to spend some time. And of course, it's a Kirby game, and those are always good. Kirby Battle Royale is no exception, coming as no surprise to me. And yeah, check it out if you so please. Bye now.